Governor, thank you so much for sitting down with me today as we take a look at November as it's coming up on the ballot. So let's start with an easy topic, property taxes. And I kid about that because you know that's been such a big topic in Montana and people are feeling a lot of feelings about that. What can you say to taxpayers who feel like maybe you got a break on your property taxes when they didn't, primarily on your Helena property and your Bozeman property? Explain that.
Well, the professionals at the Department of Revenue go out and assess property. They did a good job, and when they sent out the bills, I paid my bill. But I would agree that property taxes are too high. This is why we made it a priority, and we delivered really the largest property tax rebate in state history. But I'll be the first one to say that was a one-time fix. There's more work we need to do. This is why I put a commission together to study the problem. And I'm most excited about the homestead exemption, which will give relief to Montana residents on the rate that they pay. It also will help renters, and it will help small business. And I look forward to working with the 2025 legislative session to get that bill over the finish line. So
that high rate that we saw this time will not happen again? Is that the goal then?
Well, there's really two different views here. I mean, our approach, property taxes are complicated. As we know, most of the property taxes goes to local expenses. There's a portion that comes to the state, but 100% of it's redistributed out. And you have to be careful because the way we've approached it with a homestead exemption, Montana residents in their primary home will pay a lower rate. Renters will get a pass-through from the landlord and will help, will stabilize farms and ranches. Unfortunately, the approach that my opponent is putting forward would actually give a break to out-of-staters by giving them a break on other taxes, and would actually raise property taxes for small businesses and farms and ranches by about 20%. And the worst part about the proposal is that it would actually defund our schools. So there's a lot of moving pieces in property tax. This is why we want to be thoughtful in how we approach property tax relief.
Two different times Ryan Busse has said the last four governors used the correct multiplier in determining the property tax rate, but you didn't. How do you respond to that? Is that accurate?
Is not accurate. That is not the proposal that came to me from the Department of Revenue. And it would have, if we had done that alone, this is my point, it would have defunded our schools, pulled about $90 million away from our schools. It would have increased property taxes for farms and ranches by 20%. It would have increased taxes for small business by 20%. And it would have cut the taxes for out-of-staters with second homes here. I think they need to pay their fair share. And right now, if they're not paying income tax, they should pay a higher rate on their property taxes. That's what our homestead exemption does. We've done that in other states. Many other states have done this, and I think it's a good idea for Montana as well.
Did you underestimate at all how upset they got when their property tax bills came? I'm sure you got lots of calls and people were panicked. I know people have paid off their homes already and then they're on fixed incomes and then suddenly they have this bigger tax bill. What was the response from people who got a hold of you to talk about it?
Well, property taxes are too high. This is why we sent every Montana homeowner a check for just over $1,300 over the last 2 years. For most Montanans, that more than compensated for any increase they saw. But there's more we need to do. This is why we put the property tax task force together, and I look forward to getting this homestead exemption executed.
Now we all know what a geocode is. That was kind of complicated, but we got it done. I'm sure a lot of people did appreciate that and would be looking forward to the lower tax rates in the future because that's what panics people. Let's talk about Medicaid funding. There are some within your own party that have criticized how the Medicaid situation was handled. Thousands of people got unenrolled, and I know of one example where a man had spent a week in a mental health facility because he was suicidal, and when got out, could not get psychotherapy because he was kicked off Medicaid. Is that going to be remedied, or what happened there?
Well, we need Medicaid as a safety net. The prior administration had done the expansion, and we'll have to consider that in the 2025 session. I've been very clear. I think we need to pass an extension and make sure it's available to folks. I also believe, though, able-bodied folks who don't have dependents should be working. So I'd like to see a Medicaid expansion that includes work requirements. I think that just makes sense to most Montanans. Now, we were in a difficult situation to do the requalification. This was a federally mandated requalification that we had to go through. It was a Herculean task for the hardworking people at DPHHS. And it could have gone smoother. But in the end, we need to make sure that people that are qualified for Medicaid have the benefit. And the federal government prohibited us from de-enrolling people who were not qualified. So we're now back to the pre-pandemic levels, which is appropriate. So that safety net continues to be available for Montanans that need it.
And we'll probably hear a lot about that in the upcoming session, I would imagine. Okay, Housing Task Force, I know you formed that. Can you give me the bullet points and what do you think that's going to accomplish? Because, you know, the talk is Montana is now not an affordable place to live. Well,
I think it's housing affordability is probably the biggest issue facing working families in Montana. This is why we formed the Housing Task Force, and I'm proud of the leadership we've had nationwide on this topic. In fact, the changes we've made have been designated the Montana Miracle. And even in your hometown of Missoula, we've seen rental prices come down double digits in the last year because of the things we've done. And the plan is really based on two facts. One is that 40% of the cost of a new home is government regulations. So we've got to reduce regulations, restrictive zoning, and ones that prohibit. In your own town of Missoula, there really was no multifamily zoning anywhere. Well, multifamily apartment buildings cost less than single-family homes on big lots. We had exclusionary zoning. We didn't allow ADUs, auxiliary dwelling units. So all these things. The second thing we learned was that we essentially have a supply problem. We had a 10% growth in the population and a 7% growth in new doorknobs. And we need increased supply. This is why we've quadrupled the number of apprenticeship slots in the building trades in Montana. We enacted our MTech program, which will pay 50% of the tuition for someone pursuing a career in the building trades, and it's working. We're seeing an increased supply of housing. I wouldn't say we're out of the woods, but we're making good progress.
It's frustrating. You look at some of the listings, though, and I know people have discovered Montana since the pandemic and thanks to Yellowstone. Some of those listings are for over $1 million, and I'm wondering who's buying those houses, and is that what's starting to drive up some of the costs that we have for regular people just to buy? Because you can't buy a home under $250,000 in Missoula, and I'm sure not Bozeman either.
Well, you're right. I mean, the show Yellowstone has brought everybody and their brother to Montana, and it's increasing demand. That's why we have to increase supply. And Jill, this is such a big problem. There is no government solution that we can buy our way out of it. There's just not enough money in the kitty to do that. We've got to unleash the private sector to increase supply and reduce government regulations so that it costs less. I was talking to one developer in Missoula. Because of the delays in permitting he encountered there locally to get a building permit, the cost of his building went up $700,000 in 18 months. And that had to be added to the price of the units he was selling. So we've got to make it easier to get permits. We've got to get rid of exclusionary zoning. And this is what we've done through the Housing Task Force. There's more work to be done there, but I'm proud of the progress we've made.
All right, let's switch gears. Would you accept the will of the people if they vote to codify abortion rights on the ballot in November?
Yes. I think the will of the people is preeminent. I did that with marijuana. I was not a fan of recreational marijuana. The people voted for recreational marijuana, and I enacted it into law in a way that made sense. I personally am pro-life. I believe life is precious. And this is, Jill, let me say, this is a very sensitive issue that gets into very intimate relationship between women and their doctors. And I think we need to approach this with compassion and consensus. And again, I'm pro-life and I'll defend life, but the will of the people is preeminent.
So there won't be any move by the legislature or Republican leadership to try to chip away at that constitutional initiative?
Well, abortion is legal in Montana because of the Armstrong decision. And nothing I can do as governor or the legislature can do to take that away.
We did have 3 Montana laws restricting abortion that were ruled that you signed that were eventually ruled unconstitutional. And there were some other issues that were signed and then also ruled unconstitutional, which is interesting. How does that happen? Like, who's writing this legislation and how did it end up? You go through the process of passing something, you sign it, and then the courts say, nope, it seems like a waste.
I think the bills I've signed have been pretty common sense to protect, to do things that the people of Montana wanted. For example, I signed a bill that said taxpayer dollars should not be used. I think that's a majority of Montanans agree that taxpayer dollars should not be used for abortion. I signed a bill that said a child born alive as a result of a botched abortion should be given medical care. The court overturned that. I think the extremists here are the court, not the common sense legislation that I've signed. And I think reasonable people can sit down and have a reasonable conversation, and we can find some common ground on these issues. That's what I've done as governor. My door's been open to everyone. That's why we entertain almost every night in this home, because I think bringing people together and breaking bread together and understanding where people are coming from allows us to find common ground.
So do you think the judges are the ones that are determining what is and is not unconstitutional? Do you have a problem with the judiciary?
I would say our judiciary is probably one of the most activist one in the country. They've overturned a number of bills that I think the will of the people has been thwarted. I'll give you an example. For example, I signed 4 bills for election integrity. I signed a bill for a photo ID to vote, a bill that would have required people to register to vote by 5 p.m. the day before the election. I signed a bill that gave the Secretary of State the ability to take people who are ineligible to vote off the rolls. And I signed a bill that said if you vote, you can't vote more than once in an election. Our Montana Supreme Court said all 4 of those bills were unconstitutional. I don't understand that, and that's not the will of the people.
I think people are just afraid because it gives the optics of voter suppression, making it more difficult to people to get out and vote. I mean, I think even some of the Fort Peck tribe is saying, you know what, it's becoming more difficult for us to actually cast our ballots, and it seems like maybe some of these policies are doing just that. And some would say, oh, it's because the Republicans don't want the young Democrats to vote. What would you?
That's just absolutely not true. I think what we need to do is we need to make sure everyone has access to vote and that we have confidence in the outcome of the election. So I think common sense reforms are warranted, and those are the ones we passed.
Does the Heritage Foundation, which is a conservative think tank that people have talked a lot about because of Project 2025, does that have any voice in your administration?
I mean, I think we look at good ideas wherever we can find them. They may come from think tanks in Washington. They might come from local groups here in Montana. I think there is not a monopoly on good ideas. And I think Jordan Peterson said in his 12 Rules for Life, go into every conversation expecting to learn something. And that's the approach I've taken. And that's why I try and build consensus around issues. That's my leadership style. This is not about what Greg wants. This is about me serving the people of Montana. And on certain issues that I've campaigned on, I'm going to be unwavering on those. Like, I think less regulation generally, as long as we protect the environment and protect public safety, less regulation is better than more regulation. I think people ought to be able to keep more of what they earn. That's why I push so hard for lower taxes, and we've delivered the largest tax rebate and rate reduction in the state histories, both for property taxes, income taxes, business equipment taxes. But most of the issues that cross my desk are related to other topics. And in those cases, it's important that I hear from the stakeholders and build consensus. And if we can't build consensus, then we default to the status quo.
Would there be a circumstance where you would reach out to the Heritage Foundation to ask for advice or some guidance, or vice versa at all?
You know, we look for good ideas wherever we can find them.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about guns. We're at a firing range with a big gun. I know that's a great Montana business. They're doing good things. And you had signed a bill last year prohibiting state and local law enforcement in Montana from enforcing federal bans on firearms, ammunition, and magazines. Is that something you still stand by?
Yeah, I'm pro Second Amendment. Montana's a Second Amendment state. I made Montana a concealed carry state. It was not before. I'm proud of the fact that we have 150 firearms and ammunition manufacturers here, more per capita than any other state in the country. And this is in stark contrast to my opponent. I have an A rating from the NRA because I defend the Second Amendment. My opponent, unfortunately, even though he claims to be a gun nut, has an F rating from the NRA.
Why does that matter? Why does the NRA, to the average voter, because you either get an A or an F, nobody ever gets a C plus, right? So to the typical voter, why?
Well, it's an indication of where people stand on the Second Amendment and individual freedom, the right to own and bear arms. I am an advocate. My opponent opposes it.
He bears a lot of arms, though. So what do you mean by that?
So my opponent served Joe Biden on a gun restriction board. He has been an advisor to the current Harris-Biden administration on gun restrictions. He is no friend of gun owners.
Every political year that comes around, that's always the fear, like this candidate's going to take your guns away, this one's going to take your guns away. Has anybody ever actually taken guns away? I feel sometimes like the gun issue is just to get people's, just riled up about something that they're going to miss and lose. When
Jill, I haven't brought guns into this race. My opponent has, and his claims are false. People should look at his record and who he serves. He's been paid by Joe Biden to come up with gun restrictions. In Montana, we're going to defend the Second Amendment. We passed a law that makes it illegal for banks to discriminate against firearms and ammunition manufacturers when they were pursuing their ESG nonsense. We've passed a law that allows local law enforcement to not enforce federal bans on gun ownership. These are the things that people of Montana have told me they want, and I've acted on them, and they're now law.
What about red flag laws? Because I know that would help keep guns out of somebody in the middle of a mental health crisis. I think it was discussed in the legislature but didn't quite go anywhere. Even in Western Montana, we've had several school threats already this school year in the past month, and we have a big suicide rate. Does the red flag law have any place in your administration to discuss or to enact?
I'll talk about any idea. I will tell you going in, however, red flag laws are a bad idea because it's a slippery slope to gun registries. And we've seen what's happened in Australia where they started with a registry and then it went to confiscation. And if you want to see guns confiscated, just look at what happened in Australia. I was traveling there a number of years ago before I was in public office, and a local rancher who raises sheep on his sheep station had all of his guns taken away. He couldn't defend his wildlife against predators. He had to watch his lambs have their eyes eaten out by the equivalent of a magpie down there because he was not allowed to own a gun. We're not going to let that happen here in Montana.
Okay, that's a colorful story. My goodness. Hey, let's talk about the balanced budget. Our budget is balanced. The Montana Constitution mandates that. We have, is it $1 billion surplus? What are we going to do with that money? Why do we have so much money?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Jill. So when I came into office in 2021, I got sworn in January, I promised the people of Montana a couple of things. Related to our budget, of course I have to balance it. Every governor has to balance it. That's not always so easy, but we did it. But I also promised them we're going to fund essential services, but we are not going to grow the size of government. And the Montana budget, state budget, in 2021 and 2022, because of our conservative fiscal budget, grew less than 1% each year. The consequence of that in 2023 was we had a $2.5 billion surplus. So here's what we did with the taxpayers' money. We gave $1 billion back because it's their money in the first place. We gave it back in the form of rebates on income tax and property tax. We lowered rates. The next thing we did was we fixed what was broken. We put over $200 million into roads and bridges, both at a local level and a state level. We fixed Deer Lodge because it was long in the tooth. And we made a historic $300 million investment in behavioral health, which we're pleased just get the results this past week on the remarkable progress we've made because we have a behavioral health crisis in the state combined with the drug epidemic. Next, we topped off our rainy day fund. We doubled the rainy day fund. We doubled the fire suppression fund. Even then we had money left over. So we paid off all of the state debt. Montana is now completely debt free. Jill, I don't know of another state that's done that. And I certainly know our federal government has not done that. So not only do we balance the budget, we've paid off all our debt, and that puts us in a stronger financial position.
Could some of that money be used to pay teachers more, for example, or fund more highway patrol officers, that type of thing?
Sure. We put more money into law enforcement, and we also put money into increasing teacher pay. Through our TEACH Act, which I signed into law in 2021, we provide an incentive for local school boards to increase starting teacher pay. In 2023, we enhanced the funding for the TEACH Act. And aside from the TEACH Act, we increased funding for public schools at a record level in 2023. So increased starting teacher pay, more funding for K through 12 education, plus we've beefed up law enforcement.
So there was a 2024 report on Montana by the National Education Association that we're pretty much dead last in starting teacher salary at around $34,000, $35,000. Some believe it's contributing to fewer qualified educators in our schools. Can we raise the teacher salary, and maybe should there be more of a conversation about what is constitutionally required of our state to provide a quality public education, rather than having so many conversations about private schools and privatizing schools?
Well, we need a strong public school system. This is why I proposed, and the legislature passed, and I signed into law, the largest increase for public education in the history of the state. In addition, we championed the TEACH Act, which increased starting teacher pay, and over 600 teachers took advantage of it the first year. But there's more we need to do. Teacher salaries are set at the local level. This is why my opponent's proposal on property tax relief is so tragic. It would defund public schools, and it's a bad idea.
All right, let's talk about, you have a family member in the LGBTQ plus community. When you talk about legislation that some might feel would marginalize that community, is it a gut punch, or how do you balance that? And I think about this when we're talking about the gender affirming care and the conversations that were going on in the last legislative session. Like, these are, Montanans as well.
I'm a dad.
Yeah.
Of course I love my kids, and nothing will change that. I love all my children. And at the end of the day, the people of Montana elected me to enact legislation that makes sense. And in the particular case, SB 99, which was, I met with parents of transgender children. I talked to the kids themselves. In the end, where I came down on that, working with the legislature, that many young people regret these surgeries later in life. And if an adult wants to make that decision, that's up to them. We're not going to discriminate against them. But I think we have an obligation to protect young children from permanently life-altering surgeries, which they cannot reverse later in life. And that's where we came out.
I don't know if the young ones are doing surgery. I think that would be more of the, is it puberty blockers? And then
which these
gives them time to think about it.
Talking to the medical profession, these puberty blockers, in certain cases surgery, have permanent lasting effects. And I just think that in chatting with the medical experts, families, these are decisions that should be left when the child is of age and they can understand the consequences.
We could dig more into that, but I want to talk more about jobs and energy, because we're looking at Stillwater Mine. They're losing 700 jobs with the palladium, Pyramid Mountain Lumber in Seeley Lake. We've got Roseburg Forest Products in Missoula. Are you concerned at all about the Signal Peak coal mine in Roundup? These are legacy jobs, and they're going away, and there's also a balance between the environment and these kind of jobs. Where are we with that, and what is the solution there?
Yeah, so I ran for office for two reasons. One is to create more good-paying jobs, recognizing that government doesn't create the jobs, they're created by the private sector. And secondly, to protect our way of life. And I'm really proud of what we've accomplished. We have more people working in Montana today than ever in the history of the state. We've had record low unemployment over an extended period. We're over 30 months of consecutive unemployment under 3.4%. That's never happened before, Jill. And we've had greater wage growth in Montana than second fastest of all the states in the country. In fact, we're the only one of two states in the country that had wage growth over the last 4 years that has exceeded inflation. And I attribute that to our less burdensome tax regime and for our regulation. It is tragic when people lose their jobs through closures, but that's the nature of the private sector. I'm thrilled. We just announced, Olympus Arms here in Helena. They're going to invest $50 million, create 60 jobs over the next few years. We just cut a ribbon on a new business in Billings last week. Vocom in Lewistown, 500 new jobs. Brickstell Defense, 350 jobs in Glendive. I was just on the phone just an hour ago with the CFO of a major corporation. They're looking at a major potential addition in another community here in the state. So we've added at the Department of Commerce, in addition to tourism promotion, business attraction, and I'm really pleased with the progress we're making.
So hopefully the people that are losing their jobs in these other sectors will find another path. Is that the hope?
Well, we've mobilized a team at the Department of Labor to go and work. Fortunately, at Stillwater, they were given 60 days notice. So we have people on the ground there doing skills assessment and job placement work. We're going to find them work.
So what would you do with Colstrip? And I know Wyoming is looking at nuclear energy projects. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Well, I think Montana's a net energy exporter. We need to continue to do that. I just cut the ribbon up at the Clearwater wind facility north of Miles City, 750 megawatts of power. I've been working very hard to get the ownership of Colstrip back into the hands of folks that actually want to operate it through its useful life. But we need to pursue an all of the above energy policy to include hydro, wind, solar, fossil fuels, and nuclear. So I'm a fan of all of it. I think we should let economics determine it. But what's really scary, Jill, is these climate activists who want to shut down fossil fuels. If we shut down Colstrip tomorrow, the light switch wouldn't do anything. According to the University of Montana, our grid would be destabilized. Electric prices would go through the roof. We can't allow that to happen. So while we continue to operate Colstrip, we need to diversify our energy portfolio, and that's the policy of our administration.
And that would help kind of offset the environmental concerns, because climate change is a concern. There are maybe some that are extreme, but like the reasonable folks will say, yes, we are having an impact and we need to figure out a way to kind of dial back on the pollution and what we're doing to our natural resources.
I would agree with that. I think we need to be pursuing innovation, not regulation. And unfortunately, the approach we've seen out of the Biden-Harris administration is regulation. The EPA has made it very difficult to operate reliable energy production here in the country. I'm looking forward to a new administration in Washington because the current one has been a train wreck.
I recall you called Bussey not a legitimate candidate or a serious candidate. He said you're fascist. So these are words I've never heard before in any sort of political arena, and I've been covering politics in Montana for 30 years. First, why was Ryan Bussey to you not a legitimate candidate?
Well, that's easy to answer. Every candidate for governor has released their tax returns. Brian Schweitzer did, Steve Bullock did, Mike Cooney did. I've released 17 years of my tax returns to the people because I believe in transparency. I don't know what my opponent was trying to hide by not releasing them, and I said until he does, he's not a legitimate candidate.
But he did.
Yeah.
And then you take a look at former President Trump, who was also reluctant and didn't do it. So what's the difference between?
Well, in Montana, I think we have a commitment to transparency to the people. That's what I've done. He just wasn't willing to do it until I pushed him. I'm glad he did. That allows us to have a debate, and I'm looking forward to it.
The debate. What?
One more.
All right, here we go. Let me see here. So many to choose. Could I have two more? Just two more.
We're going to stick with one.
Oh, man. Okay. Let's see. There are some that have the impression that you're not quite as accessible to the media that they would like you to be. I've had colleagues say they've called and no one calls them back, and you maybe cherry pick some of your reporters. Do you feel you're transparent and accessible and open to the people of Montana? Because
Jill,
there's a chunk of people who say you're just kind of aloof in...
Jill, that's just silly.
Okay.
That's just silly. I'm on the road every single week traveling the state. We send out media briefings for every day I'm on the road. We invite people to come join us. This is the first time in a long time we've been able to sit down. It's not because I've been hiding, you just haven't shown up. So you're welcome to come see us. I do probably 5 radio broadcasts a week with callers that call in. I love to take their questions. I'm in Helena typically in the beginning of the week to get things lined out, and then I travel the state every single week. And I'm proud of the fact that I get to every single county in this state at least once a year, our big communities almost every month. So it's just a false claim.
Oh, one quick thing too. First thing that you'll do if you're reelected that first day in office, number one priority.
It'll be the beginning of the legislative session. I'll do the same thing I did last legislative session. I meet with the Democrat leadership and I meet with the Republican leadership to put our cards on the table, and because I think everyone needs to have a voice at the table. I'm about building consensus and finding a path forward that's right for Montana. And Jill, I truly believe that as Montanans, regardless of party affiliation, we have more in common than separates us. We just need to be willing to listen well and understand where someone's coming from. Everyone who has a passionate voice on a topic has something relevant to say, and it should be incorporated in some way.
All right, Governor, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.